right? I mean, I'm sure most of you have heard it. If you haven't, a Malaysian Airlines 777 Flight 370 vanished on a trip into China. Nobody knows what happened to it. Or do they? This is a very, very interesting article. And I'm going to read it to you, all of it, because I have a feeling there may be something to this that you're not ever going to hear on TV. Okay? I'm not telling you this is real. I'm not telling you that Search Falls telling you the truth. What I am saying is put it in the back of your mind as a possibility, and a very real possibility. Okay? A grim report prepared by Main Intelligence Directorate of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, the GRU, on Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is stating today that within 24 hours of this aircraft's diversion to a highly secretive Indian Ocean U.S. military base located on the Diego Garcia atoll, no less than 4 flights within the past week containing top American and Chinese disease scientists and experts have likewise been flown to there. According to this report, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, also marketed as China Southern Airlines Flight 748 through a codeshare, was a scheduled passenger flight from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, to Beijing, China, when on March 8th, the Boeing 777-200ER aircraft disappeared in flight with 227 passengers on board from 15 countries, most of whom were actually, though, Chinese, 12 crew members. And by the way, Fox News said Tom Ridge was on that. Tom Ridge, you remember him, the Homeland Security Director? I saw a blip on Fox News, and they blipped that he had been on that flight. I haven't heard another thing about it, however. Anyway, it says, as we have previously noted in our report, Russia puzzled over Malaysia Airlines' capture by the U.S. Navy. The GRU had previously notified China's Ministry of State Security, the MSS, of its suspicions regarding this flight due to its containing a highly suspicious cargo that had been offloaded in the Republic of the, I can't even pronounce it. Anyway, from the U.S. flag container ship MV Marasque, Alabama. First arousing the GRU's concerns about this highly suspicious cargo, this report continues, was that after its unloading from the MV Alabama on 17 February, it then was transferred to the international airport where it was loaded on an Emirates flight bound for Kuala Lumpur International Airport in Malaysia. After first stopping over in Dubai, the 2 highly trained U.S. Navy SEALs who were guarding it were found dead. They reported on that. Anyway, the 2 U.S. Navy SEALs protecting this highly suspicious cargo, a Mark Daniel Kennedy, 43, and a Jeffrey Keith Reynolds, 44, were found dead under suspicious circumstances aboard the MV Marasque, Alabama, the report says, further raising Russian intelligence suspicions that they were both employed by the Virginia Beach, Virginia-based maritime security firm, the Trident Group, which was founded by U.S. Navy Special Operations personnel and senior U.S. Navy surface warfare officers, and had long been known by the GRU to protect vital transfers of both atomic and biological materials throughout the world. Upon Flight 370's departure from Malaysia on 8 March, this report continues, the GRU was notified by the MSS that they were going to divert it from its scheduled destination to Beijing to a Milan International Airport, HAK, located in the Henan province, prior to the planes entering into the People's Liberation Army protected zones of the South China Sea, known as the Spratly Islands. However, the report continues, Flight 370 significantly deviated from its flight course and was tracked by VKO satellites and radar flying into the Indian Ocean region and completed its nearly 3,447 kilometers flight to Diego Garcia. Now, you got to remember, Diego Garcia is where we house all of our, not stealth fighters, but the stealth bombers. The B-1 bombers are all based there. So this is getting kind of interesting, actually, I think. Anyway, who knows what's going to happen next. Anyway, I'm going to continue with this because it's so fascinating to me. Most troubling to the GRU about Flight 70's diversion to Diego Garcia, the report says, was that it was nearly immediately followed by some top disease scientists and experts from the United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CCDCP, embarking to Diego Garcia on at least 4 flights. Now, isn't that fascinating? Anyway, that's the way that goes. So anyways, it gets, this mystery deepens, and what Dr. Fall is really getting at is there may have been something on board that airplane. And we don't know what kind of a disease maybe somebody's come up with. Anyway, this is more or less what I think they're saying here as to why both American and Chinese disease experts were taken to Diego Garcia, where Flight 370 is now known to be, she says. It's known to be there. Has as yet not been answered by either of these governments after repeated foreign ministry requests for explanations and clarifications. What is to be known, the report says, is that Malaysia had been forced to admit Flight 370 was indeed diverted from its flight path, as the GRU had previously said, and as at least 25 nations are now involved in searching for it, it remains a mystery as to what is actually occurring. Now, if they know from satellite tracking that this airplane is actually at Diego Garcia, then why are we getting 25 nations involved in a search when they already know where it is? The only reason you do that is cover story. Anyway, also known, this report concludes, is that Diego Garcia, as a designated ETOPS emergency landing site for flight planning purposes of commercial airlines traversing the Indian Ocean, and as one of 33 emergency landing sites worldwide for the NASA space shuttle, it is inconceivable that any type of aircraft, let alone Flight 370, which is a large airplane, by the way, could fly anywhere in the southern hemisphere without being tracked, monitored, and recorded in totality. That's true. That's absolutely true. So then if they tracked it to Diego Garcia, and immediately we have top people involved in the Center for Disease Control, and then what we know about the passengers that were on board that airplane, many were IT specialists in very high technology, computer, and I'm not sure what all. We heard one report where they said they were experts in cloaking. So we don't know. The mystery still deepens. Anyway.